Hello, we are here, first day of Dreamhack. I'm here with Leighton Tyler. Tell us a little bit who you are, what team you're with, what it is you do.
My name's Leighton. I work for TempoStorm, and I handle kind of our acquisitions. I do a lot of our player scouting, a little bit of marketing stuff, and kind of just all around, problem solver for the team.
Sure. Player scouting, that's really interesting. Are you like just watching Twitch, or are you going to tournaments? How does that work for you?
There's a lot to it. Like, there's analytics stuff, so you got like leaderboards and stuff that you can kind of look at to get a general idea. Like, Fortnite has a lot of players, obviously.
Right.
You kind of have to narrow it down, or else you're just going to be sitting there the entire time trying to watch VODs and stuff. So a lot of it's word of mouth. You find kind of good players that can identify other good players, and that gives you kind of a target to look at, and then you can break it down a little bit more into like the analytics itself. And then you just go from there, kind of talk to the players, see who has the right mentalities, like, who wants to win, who's kind of there and has kind of like that leadership aspect to it.
Yeah.
And then there's just a whole lot of qualitative things that you just kind of get from experience. Like,
sure.
I played professionally myself previously, so I kind of have an understanding of what it takes to hit that top level.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's kind of where the disconnect, I guess, comes from, because a lot of it is like, people look at purely analytics, but there's a huge qualitative aspect to it that you just kind of end up identify by having like an eye for it.
Yeah, just leadership, kind of savviness, stuff like that. So those soft skills.
Yeah, it's soft skills, and like you'll find a lot of players, like some of them have like clutch factors. So that's what I define it as. A lot of people will kind of get too stressed under pressure and not be able to kind of handle it, and they'll make silly mistakes. There's players that are completely calm, can totally understand it, and like handle the pressure itself, and they actually play better under it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the soft skill of being able to identify that.
Okay. I like that. When you say analytics, you talking just like wins and losses? You talking about elim ratio? What is it? Is there an advanced analytics we don't know about?
Most of it's just like ratings itself. Like you look at placements, you get people, battle royales especially, like Fortnite.
Right.
We got Sis here competing. Most of it's kind of placements, kills, looking at, overall scores. Consistency is a big one. Then you go a little bit further into that other games, like you get like ratings and stuff. If you look at like Rainbow Six Siege, or they look at like bomb plants.
Right.
Things like, they come a little bit more analytical wise, but most of it it's usually publicly available. There's nothing sneaky.
Right.
It's just how you kind of take the data.
Sure. More about interpretation than it is like actual collection. Cool.
Yeah.
You said you played professionally.
Yes.
How was the transition from sort of the player side to the management side? Was that easy? I don't know, is it as exciting to you as it was?
I mean, nothing's ever as truly as exciting as it is when you're playing. Like, being on the main stage is kind of like, that's the blood rushing, adrenaline pumping. It's still really cool to see players that you scout go through it, especially being at the tournaments. It'll be cool to watch Sis compete here, especially if he makes it to the last day and everything. It'll be super nice to do. But like, I look at the one time that I won a tournament was at Dreamhack Sweden, actually, in 2017. And the feeling that I got from that hasn't been matched yet by management. So as for like the actual transition itself, it took a little bit. I mean, I worked in wildfire management when I'm Canadian actually, so I worked in wildfire management while I was competing professionally.
Okay.
And then I kind of transitioned into professional play for 2 years, and then into actually working for TempoStorm after that.
Cool. And
a lot of that operationally kind of transferred over quite easily. So it's like, project management and, looking after and managing players. It's no different. So, and being in emergency management, especially wildfire itself, you get a lot of the kind of extreme experience where it's, people's houses and burning and stuff.
Right. That's pressure. You build that immunity to pressure.
You build that immunity. Yeah. So it exists in eSports as well, but it's a lesser aspect. So in terms of being prepared for it, I think I was pretty prepared.
Cool. How was so when you played professionally to now, how has it changed or stayed the same, both like Fortnite and also just eSports in general?
It's pretty similar. I'm not that much of a boomer yet,
sure.
So I've been pretty close.
Sure.
It's definitely taken another step.
Yeah.
I think when I stopped playing in the middle of 2018 was kind of where the transition kind of occurred. That's when the Fortnite thing took off, and it became a lot more mainstream. The actual setup of tournaments and stuff is still pretty similar. It's definitely advanced a little bit, but in terms of, the fans and everything, the core of it's still pretty close.
Yeah. And how long have you been with TempoStorm, did you say?
For a year.
Okay, so were you with them during Fortnite World Cup?
I was, yes.
Awesome.
I was not in New York, though.
Okay, so how did that How do you feel, maybe speaking from the player or the management side, like that compares to DreamHack Anaheim here right now?
DreamHack Anaheim is definitely smaller. Like the World Cup itself was like completely set up by Epic and everything. You know, it was in, I forget what the venue was, but it was some massive venue.
Yeah, it was outdoor. No, it was the tennis center.
Yes, okay, tennis center.
Yeah, Billie Jean King Tennis Center.
You know, definitely smaller than that, but this is kind of more of a grassroots aspect of it. So I find that a lot of Fortnite players are, they've only felt what Epic kind of has to offer. So they haven't got, a lot of them are really young, they haven't got that kind of grassroots exposure. So I think DreamHack is really nice for that because it sees, you know, this is what all the veterans and stuff went through from the Quake players and everyone that, you know, came before them. So it's kind of a, we'll call it a humbling experience.
Yeah, I like that. Especially we have this line of people around us with their PCs that they brought. Like, you did not see that at Fortnite World Cup at all. It was like a zip line instead.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Are you having a good time so far here?
Yeah, so far. I walked through the expo and stuff. Nothing's really started yet, so you know, I saw CS was up there too, League of Legends. Gonna enjoy watching both of those.
Yeah. Have you, obviously, other than TempoStorm people, because that's who you're pulling for and that's who you have the most faith in, who are your, like, do you think maybe predictions, projections, big winners maybe today?
I don't have a full list of everyone that's here. I think Sizz has a really good chance. Like, I'm going to be excited for Sizz to see. I would be really surprised if he doesn't make it the last day. I think the difference for this, though, is going to be it's an entirely different environment for a lot of these players.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to play a lot into it. You know, you got the Bogas, you got the... well, I think I saw Aiden here as well. I think, you know, all the pro players, everyone's got a chance. It's Fortnite. You know?
Right.
Do you get the zone, or you know, how well do you rotate? You know, all of these kind of aspects kind of factor in. So I wouldn't have any favorite right now. I mean, Fortnite hasn't had a tournament in a while, so it's kind of hard to see. I'm sure there will be some up-and-comers that completely shock everyone.
Right.
Because that always happens.
It feels like there always is.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great environment for it. I mean, it's not quite the World Cup. Like you said, it's a little bit smaller, but I like that lots of different people from different games.
Yeah.
I think that there's, like, maybe the age range and the demographic is a little bit different than, say, a typical
you get a lot of
Fortnite.
local people, too, that wouldn't usually come to these tournaments. So you always find that there's some person kind of just hidden in the weeds that, you know, maybe they don't have the money to go to World Cup, or they haven't met the people to kind of build themselves up and really, you know, end up in a placement that allows them to compete in something.
Yeah.
But here, you know, anyone can come.
Yeah. No, it's great. I love it.
DreamHack is for veterans of the eSports industry.
Can you say more about it? What do you mean?
It's been around for forever. Like, truly. Like, it was one of the first at LANs. Like, you check out DreamHack Sweden or anything like that, it's crazy to walk through it. You get thousands of people with PCs set up. Like, it's absolutely and completely massive. You hear DreamHack and you think, like, that's the core of eSports.
The core of eSports.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Hey, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Watch TempoStorm on ESR.